Well, what's up, guys? Jason here for Soulfire, and today I want to talk about the Conquer series. Now, I've led a number of groups through this series, and I thought it would be good to walk through the homework assignments that they provide. One of my favorite things about the Conquer series is that they have excellent follow-up assignments to help you in your road to recovery. So let's talk about homework number 5 for the Conquer series. This is the first half of the Conquer series. It's divided into 10 lessons. The first series is 5, volume 1, and then volume 2 starts with number 6. So you're finishing the first volume of the Conquer series, and now we're on homework number 5. Now, this homework assignment has a number of new tools that they haven't talked about before. Some of them that I think are highly effective. In fact, my favorite one is in this week, where I've seen guys really come to understand what lies beneath the struggle. And so let's walk through these each one by one. So the first thing that they want you to do is to take out that journal and to understand a recent relapse. And so they've got this tool called the arousal relapse connection. And what they want you to do is begin to put into place the circumstances and the triggers of a recent relapse. So think about the last time that you relapsed. Ask yourself the question, where was I specifically? What was it that triggered me? What was I feeling? What emotions were involved? And what was that process like? You want to begin to set up to understand what led me to that relapse so that you won't put yourself in that situation before. A lot of the men in my groups, they can quickly begin to indicate the times that they're most likely to relapse and the place that they're most likely to relapse. If you begin to understand those specifics, you will know not to put yourself in that place. As the saying goes, if you sit in the barber chair long enough, eventually you're going to get a haircut. And so we have conversations in our group that if you're going to continue in the circumstance that you most likely lead to relapse, whether that's sitting on your couch watching Netflix, laying in your bed, scrolling through your phone, maybe it's in the shower, whatever the most tempting time for you is, that is not the time where you want to just hang around, because you're most likely going to fall into relapse. So this assignment will help you begin to journal and process those things that lead you to relapse. Number 2, and this is my favorite homework assignment that is in the entire Conquer series, and that is for you to process your 10 most painful events. One of the most powerful things that we can do to understand how we got into this place of addiction is to begin to write out our story, write out our history and our testimony with this struggle. If you ask yourself the question, what are the 10 most painful things I've been to? And this may take you an hour, maybe 2 hours that you set aside to spend with the Lord. They've got that table on page 69 for you to begin to write out these events, and you begin to realize the painful and the difficult things that you've been through. Satan wants to use that for you to believe lies in your life, and it is those lies, those vows that you've made as a result of those lies, that Satan wants to hold you captive so you continue to medicate and to go back and fall into that addictive sin. You may not be aware of what are the lies that Satan wants me to believe. What are the vows that are in my life that are driving me, that are making me feel less than a man, making me feel lonely or unworthy? What are those events that have led me to want to medicate all that through sexual content, pornography, masturbation, and those things? The 10 most painful events is really going to be helpful for you. So let me challenge you to do this. Find the time that you will do this. Where is a place where you can get 1 or 2 hours alone? Maybe you need to get up extra early. Maybe it's on a weekend if that's the time you have. Get some time by yourself. Begin to process these 10 most painful events. Then they want you to ask, when this event occurred, what vow did I make in my life? So maybe there was an older man who said something critical about you. Maybe it was your father, and he said something like, you'll never amount to anything. And then you, in that moment, you vowed, I'll show him, I'll prove it. And you find out that you've lived your life trying to prove that he was wrong with what he said to you. That's just one example that maybe you could relate to. But write out those most painful events. Ask God to reveal to you what vow you have made, and then they're going to use this assignment later on in the Conquer series. You want to make sure you go ahead and do those 10 most painful events. The third one that they have for this week is also a new one, and it is titled the double bind exercise. Now, I think the terminology in this one may be a little bit unfamiliar, so I think a lot of the guys in my group, they have tended not to move into this one. It seems a little bit complicated, but essentially what they want you and I to realize in this exercise is that life is difficult. Now, choosing the life of an addict, making destructive choices, that's bad, and it's going to lead to destructive consequences. But in the short term, to say no to sin and temptation is also difficult. It's also challenging. It forces us to engage with our painful emotions, with It forces us to sit with fears and all those things that we're trying to avoid by acting out. The double bind exercise is trying to get you to process and to write out that either way you're going to walk through difficulty. Now, saying no to temptation, living the life of freedom, is difficult in the short term. You're making hard choices right now, today, that are later going to lead to fruit. They're later going to lead to good things. If you choose destructive behaviors, it's easy in the short term, but it's going to be destructive in the long term. The double bind exercise helps you understand how either way you're going to walk through difficulty, but eventually you want to commit before God, before the men in your group. You want to make good choices to move yourself toward things that will be life-giving. And then lastly, for this week, they shift you to continuing to use the F.A.S.T.E.R scale. That's something they introduced a few weeks ago. They want you to continue to use that to see where you're at in your journey for recovery. So that's it for week 5. At this point, you have completed half of the Conquer series. Congratulations. I hope you've been using those homework assignments. And at this point, they want to challenge you to say, hey, let's go ahead and do volume 2. We've done 5 weeks with our group. Let's do 5 more. Well, I hope this video was helpful. If you want to see more content like this, click the subscribe button. If you've got questions or comments, add to the discussion below. And if you want to support the channel, check out the Covenant Eyes affiliate link below. Covenant Eyes can help you along your journey to recovery by providing accountability software on your phone, your computer, and other digital devices that you use. Thanks so much. This is Jason for Soulfire. I'll catch you in the next one.